Greetings! Today is July 9th, 2024. And we're back with another video. And in this video, we're going to be reviewing the DC Mcfarlane Batman vs. Bane. And not for nothing, this is probably one of the best storylines of Batman. There's others, but this is one of the memorable ones that I remember as a kid. Now, as far as reviewing this Bane, we did get a Bane in the past. It came out, and it was more modern size type Bane, even though it still had the Knightfall moniker on it. This is the official Knightfall Bane along with Batman. And with the difference in this is we're getting two sets of hands now. So before on the old one, I'm going to show when we do the review is this one has open hands. It's also a little bit different variation of Bane. He has the color markings on his clothes and everything as far as blue shading, and you got to beat up old Batman here. But yeah, the side pretty much just standard, packaging as far as what we all expect from Mcfarlane. We also have the back, which is this cool artwork of, yes, Bane breaking Batman's back. And this was one of the most pivotal moments back when I was growing up reading comics, because I was like, dang, what the heck is going on with Batman? Because around this time, Batman did so many crime fighting. There was so many crime fighting stories that Batman was in that led up to this moment. Tragically, he got his back broken, and then we had Azrael Batman take the mantle. But as far as the packaging and everything, it came in pretty cool. Get the standard box, standard flair that with all Mcfarlane action figures come in. I hope that as far as the more builder figures that we do get different artwork of that particular character in that box. No more of just a bath portrait that's on the back of those builder figure waves. I hope we actually start getting more of the inside card artwork on the back. But let's crack this open and take a closer look. Okay, so out of the box we have here Batman and Bane. And I like the different accessories that came with this. Like I said before, we have the two open hands displayed here, which is already inside of the box. As soon as you open it, you already have these attached on. And we also get the fist, which is very much needed as far as Bane, because when we got the open hand Bane, like, he couldn't punch anybody. He couldn't do anything other than just grab Batman. You know what I'm saying? Batman also comes with certain accessories. He comes with displayed hands here. You also have his batarang, along with, I don't know if you can see it, his batarang with his open hand that holds the batarang. And we also have this open hand right here. So he comes with a good amount of hands. I also have his displayed hand on him already. But first we're going to take a look at the Batman. So here we have Batman. And I like this particular Batman only because of the markings that he has on his, costume. He's real beat up. His mouth is pretty much bleeding, as you can see. Like, he's really been through the ringer as far as this battle. It's the most one of the iconic battles of Batman in the history of Batman that everyone remembers. But overall, I like the attention to detail and the design of this particular Batman. This does share the same sculpt as our previous Batman. I have him right over here. And even though this is the black version, this pretty much shares the same sculpt. The only difference is with this particular Batman is the emblem is painted on instead of embezzled like this one. This one is more like a sculpt. So you're getting the same body. The only difference is the Bat logo, but everything else is pretty much the same. His stitching and everything, his, wear and tear on his costume is all painted on, but overall, you're getting the same Batman. The difference between this Batman that we got before and this one is the wired cape. And this is a very nice wired cape. I gotta say, I like this wired cape. It has a nice, cool shine to it. It displays out pretty well if you want to get him in some jumping action poses and everything. But I like the way this Batman came out. He can only go with Batman, really. I mean, you can put him in other fight scenes, whether you want him fighting the Brainiac bots or any other type of henchman. But Batman usually keeps himself together, so I don't think he will look this beat up unless he's going against something that's really, really, a real challenge. Batman rarely gets any challenges, but this is probably one of his toughest fights he ever had to deal with. And having this particular Batman on your shelf next to Bane I think it's perfect. It's a work of art. I actually like it. Even his neck is cut, so they really did a good job with the attention to detail on this Batman. He's more of a brighter Batman, blue Batman too. So we did get the other Batman, the other Knightfall Batman. So this blue is way too bright to actually do any head swaps on it. But overall, I like it. I'm glad that we got a beat up Batman. It's just like the Doomsday when we got before, where we got a beat up Superman. I really like these particular renditions of the characters when they have different expressions and different, you know, paint apps and everything. I really like that this is going to be pretty much a one and done Batman as far as like him being beat up. And the same goes for the Superman, how he was all, you know, ripped up and beat up when he was fighting Doomsday. So these particular, you know, when Todd gives us these figures, they really do stand out a lot on your shelf. I mean, you have, if you've been collecting this particular line, you have mostly a lot of Batmans in good, clean uniforms. But when you come across giving us a superhero that's beat up and damaged like this, I'm always going to be a fan of these. It's pretty much a nostalgia of mine to get that fun, you know, 90s feel or 80s feel, like, you know, Battle Armor He-Man or something like that. You know, you're getting a different sculpt. You're getting a different design of a hero who would never show any damage. You know what I'm saying? But back in the 80s and the early 90s, you always got the battle damage G.I. Joe, the battle damage Transformers, the battle damage, you know, He-Man or DC Comics or Spider-Man or whatever. So anytime we get a battle damage hero, I'm always all for it. I don't care if it's a reuse of the body. I really like the fact that we get beat up heroes, because all these heroes just can't always look pristine all the time. Some of them really do have some wear and tear in them. So anytime that we get figures like this, I'm all for it. And next up here we have is Bane. Now, like I said before, we did get Bane before. This is the original Bane that we got a while back, and this is a more modern take on Bane. I know this goes for a lot of money on the aftermarket, but you know, you got to get in quick in order to get certain Mcfarlane figures. I think right now it's going to get a little bit more scarce because a lot of these toy companies are holding back from releasing a lot of figures like before. I have a feeling it's going to reset and turn back around where it's going to get a whole bunch of, you know, figures again like we used to. But for right now, I think that a lot of these toy companies looking at the market where they're just pulling back on a lot of production. So if you see this Bane out there, I would say get it now while you can. You know what I'm saying? I think it's still available on GameStop. I did order it from Mcfarlane Toy Store, so I got mine's in, and I did put a second order in for GameStop just to see if it came in, and it did come in when it was available on GameStop. So yeah, definitely keep a lookout for this guy. But here's the original Bane. The original Bane came with, he has the belt buckles and everything on his vest. You know what I'm saying? The head sculpt and everything. He has his tank in the back. And this one does not. Now, I actually like this particular Bane a lot more now that I have it in hand than this one. This one always going to be the OG. And I like this one for pretty much just, you know, my standard, to go along with my standard henchman if he's about to do something. He's using more brains in this one than he is in this one. This one is all pure muscle on how I separate the two. So this one would need henchmen and actually, you know, when he does his crime, he's doing it and he's thinking methodically and very smart. So I would call this the more smart Bane rather than this one. This is the more raged, you know, pimped out Bane. You know what I'm saying? His tank is his tank is not even there. He actually has it connected directly to his head. So let me see if I can just shift the camera up a bit so you can see this is a big dude. So as you can see, his oxygen tank is in different scope than from this one. This one he has his whole full tank on his back. This one he doesn't. So you're going to get a lot more movement out of this one because he's not hampered down with all the wires and cables that's connected to him. You know what I'm saying? From the previous version. If you're looking at this fist here, this fist was made by a custom artist. Can't think of his name around, but he knows he is, because when we got this particular Bane, we needed fist, and for some reason they didn't pack in fist. But now we have the fist. Now we have the open hands, and this Bane, to me, I actually like this Bane a lot more. The blue, I know a lot of people did not like the blue, but to me, you know what? It looks good. When you have this in hand, that blue won't be as, you know what I'm saying, bothersome when you have this figure in hand, because it actually just looks right. It actually looks like he jumped right out of the comic. But I like the attention to detail and design in his head. His helmet, his face is different, so you can actually see how his mask is even different. It looks like an actual person is behind that mask more than this one. So you can actually see the sculpt and the ridges and the designs all in the mask. He has the zipper on his head. Yeah, it's an all new sculpt. His back, as you can see, you know, you got his muscles protruding, and he has the hairy arms, which is so accurate to the comic. I really, really am a big fan of this new Bane. Like, not for nothing, I still like the old Bane, but this Bane looks he looks so menacing. His articulation, he can still lean back that far, lean forward. You can move his head up, and it looks like he's just gunning for a fight. You know what I'm saying? Like a true wrestler's mark right here. I really, really like this Bane. Having him hunch over too makes him look a little bit more bigger than he really is, but I like that. I like the way that this Bane articulates. I like the way he stands on the shelf. His shelf presence is felt. And like I said, the blue streaks, believe me, if you get this in hand, it won't even bother you. I know some people are customizing them and making them all black, but I'm not going to do that. I want to leave this Bane exactly how he is. And I could put him next to any other Gotham villain, and to me, he just looks perfect. Because the blues that are on here pretty much is supposed to give that shine essence off of the black. You know what I'm saying? Like for this one, you get the all matte black. You know that's black. But for some reason, this blue just makes it feel brand new to me. You know what I'm saying? It just makes it feel like, yeah, it's just perfect, man. Like, I would want Bane to look like this. It's sort of like a mix between the comic and the animated series in a way. And I did see that animated series that's coming out, but honestly, this is the Bane. This is the Bane to get. I did see the Mafex Bane that's coming out. Looks a little too short. The articulation is kind of questionable, but overall, this is the Bane you would want. You would want this Bane on your shelf to fill out your Batman shelf. Even if you got the Mafex or the Revoltech Batman, this Bane is perfect. This is a Mega Fig action figure, and it goes well with any of your Batman displays, I gotta say. And like I said, not to take any type of heat off of this one is still a good Bane if you can get it for a good price. But if you can't, for right now, I would say try to aim to get this Bane. You would want this Bane. The skin tone is a little bit different too. I'm noticing that he's a little bit more orange on here, and this one is a little bit more actual pale skin. But the more I have this in my hand, and the accessories that come with the hands and everything, it just makes him a more fun Bane. And the wires are not all over the place. Like, as you can see on here, I had this Bane for a while. I have another one, but my tube broke. I ain't gonna lie, my tube just snapped one day while I was rotating his head, but still a good Bane, and I could just fix that with some glue or whatever. But as far as my new Bane, my Bane that's going on the shelf, my Bane that's going in my photo pictures, dioramas, this is gonna be my new Bane. I like this Bane. I do have another Bane closed up, sealed in the box, and I'm gonna keep that there. But for right now, this is the go-to Bane. And whenever the other variation of Bane comes out from the import companies, I'm pretty sure people are going to do size comparison and everything, but it's never going to be this big. That Mafex Bane is not going to be this big. The way I look at it, is not going to be as big as this guy right here. But as far as if you're a Mcfarlane collector and you own a ton of Batmans, this is the Bane you would want. You need this Bane. Don't sit on the fence. Like I said, if you see it, mostly they're showing up in GameStop. Check your GameStops. You know, I don't know if it's going to show up in retail, but it may pop up online. I would say try to snag one if you can. But yeah, this is the perfect Bane. And that is my review of the Bane and Batman 2-pack. Rate, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you plan on picking this pack up. Like I said, the action figure collecting is getting very scarce out there, kids. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to be able to find a lot of these figures in stores, but if you can, get them online. You know what I'm saying? Check out, do the checkout, do as quick as you can. Check the forums, see when they pop up in stock. And I'll catch you in another video in the future. Peace.